I want to talk to you about America. More specifically, what it used to mean to be an American and what it still should mean and can be. Strangely enough, to do that, I first need to take you to China, to the opening of the 2008 Olympic ceremony. The giant 7 foot 6 inch Houston Rocket center Yao Ming walked in as part of that processional, and kind of running alongside him, trying to match him pace for pace, was a small 9-year-old boy that most people mistakenly thought was Yao Ming's son. It was actually a boy named Lin Hao from the Sichuan province of China. In May of 2008, the Sichuan province was struck by a massive earthquake that resulted in almost 90,000 deaths. When the earthquake struck, Lin Hao was at the small school he attended with 29 other students. Only 10 of them survived. Many hours after the overwhelmed rescuers finally showed up at the pile of rubble that had been the school, they found something really amazing. The 10 surviving students were seated outside. They were calm. There was evidence that they had had snacks to eat, and as they began to unravel the story, they realized that not only had they been fed snacks, but someone had organized songs, games to keep them calm. Turns out that Lin Hao was the first child to dig his way out of the rubble. He was wounded in his head and his arms. After he emerged from the building, he went back in and found 2 more students that were unconscious and drugged them to safety. Together, they got 7 more students out of the school. When the first responders asked Lin why he went back into the rubble, why he sustained further injuries during the rescue attempts, his reply was simply this: I had to. I'm the hall monitor. Someone gave Lin Hao a title, hall monitor. The incredible thing Lin Hao did was assign a meaning to that title that ultimately resulted in saved lives and legendary heroism. For some kids, hall monitor means privilege or teacher's pet. For Lin Hao, it meant I take care of my classmates, and if something goes wrong, I run to the problem, not away from it. Maybe he didn't articulate it that way internally, but his actions proved that that was the meaning he assigned to that title. Now, we all have a couple things in common with Lin Hao. To begin with, we all have a title. Not hall monitor, but we all have a title. As a matter of fact, we all have multiple titles. We have titles that are individual to us, like mom, dad, policeman, businesswoman, doctor, developer, soldier, mailman. You get the idea. Then we have titles that we share: neighbor, citizen, American. We all have titles, and the meaning we give to those titles determines how we act. The other thing we share with Lin Hao is this: we live in a world where catastrophe and chaos and danger can and do occur frequently and unexpectedly. Sadly, it's hard to get through a 24-hour news cycle without witnessing this truth. It seems we are just relentlessly barraged with stories of school shootings and civil unrest and racial tension, violent crimes, sectarian violence that's born out of misguided religious zealotry, and if that were not enough, on top of that we have natural disasters. I am not happy that our world is increasingly dangerous, but this is the reality we now live in, and that reality has some uncomfortable facts associated with it. First is this: first responders are amazing, but they're already stretched too thin, and all too often they're more involved in sorting out what happened as opposed to actually stopping something. They're more involved in what can be salvaged as opposed to what can be saved. The second thing is, as a society, we've grown too comfortable with the idea that when something bad happens, someone else will handle it. We must embrace the understanding that the world is not getting safer, and the someone that needs to handle it is us. On June 16th in 2008, in Turlock, California, friends, family, and strangers stood and watched as a father stomped his 2-year-old son to death. A reason for not acting was given, and it was this: I was waiting for someone in charge to show up and stop it. Again, all too often by the time our overtaxed first responders show up, the damage is already done. Let's get another perspective on horrible tragedies. The earthquake that leveled a schoolhouse in China also opened a door for a hero to show up and walk out and help. And Lynn Howe walked through that door. When a father went berserk in Turlock, California in that same year, a door opened and no one walked through for 2-year-old Alex. When bad things happen, a door opens for commitment, for courage, and compassion to walk through. The meaning you assign to your title determines whether or not you will walk through that door if ever you see it swing open in front of you. Your response to the bad thing that happens, which you have the ability to impact, informs the entire world what it means to be you. There was a time in our country when words like citizen, neighbor, and American had a clear understanding, clear meaning attached to them. The meaning went something like this. If something bad happens and opens a door to help, a door to rescue, a door to do good, a door to combat evil, I am committed to walking through that door. That's what we understood that it meant to be a neighbor or a citizen, an American. We saw it on the beaches of Normandy. We witnessed that in the unparalleled generosity of the greatest generation towards suffering at home and abroad. Sadly, that's no longer the universal meaning assigned to those titles. Well, we're changing that. We're creating an opportunity for you to have a new title with an unambiguous meaning. We're inviting you to become an American deputy, which means you've made a commitment to run through that door if it ever opens in front of you. It means you believe that this is your country, your neighborhood, your community. And when bad things happen, you not only have the right and responsibility to do something about it, but you're committed to action. And we've taken things an enormous step beyond that. The Deputize America Act, America's personal security app, puts help at the fingertips of anyone. Quick shake, a touch on a screen, and a network of American deputies are informed that something bad is happening. Your phone becomes a door opening, and we want you to be the courage and commitment and compassion that comes through that door. Download the app right now. Join us today. We don't know where the next catastrophe will occur, but now, thanks to the Deputize American app, we can absolutely know where all the heroes are. Join us so that no matter where that door opens, there's always an American deputy waiting to run through it to the rescue.